Alright, so there was a huge update done to the student residence permit for international students in Finland, and there are a bunch of things that you need to know if you want to study in this country. So in this video, let's go through all the big changes to the student residence permit law and how these changes will impact your residency in Finland. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Oliver, and also welcome back to Aalto University. Behind me here you can actually see the new campus main building that also includes a shopping center and a metro station. But I also wanted to show you how close the School of Chemical Engineering, which is this building right here behind me, is to the metro station just a couple of 100 meters away. Anyways, let's get to the video. Alright, so the first big change to the law is that international students no longer have to reapply for a new residence permit in the middle of their studies, and instead you will be granted a residence permit for the entire duration of your studies in Finland. Previously, the validity of a student residence permit was capped at 2 years at a time, so if you came to Finland to do both your bachelor's and master's degrees, in total 5 years, you would have to reapply for the permit at least twice. So that is no longer the case, meaning less work for you and for the Finnish Immigration Service. That is awesome. So while the residence permit process itself was made easier, do note that you will still have to demonstrate your ability to fund your stay in Finland. So with the new rules, students must prove that they have sufficient financial resources to cover the first year of their studies. In practice, this means that you need to have at the minimum 560 euros per month or 6,720 euros per year to cover your living costs. Do note that you have to have this total sum in a bank account that you have sole control over at the time of your application. Also, once you are admitted to study in Finland and once you do receive your residence permit, you're also automatically granted a municipality of residence. So this has previously not been automatic, and you used to apply for a municipality of residence only after arriving to Finland. This used to really suck because you would previously need an apartment to get a municipality of residence, which you in turn needed to get a bank account, which you often needed to apply for apartments, etc. So we used to have this really stupid chicken egg problem where people would not get an apartment because they didn't have a bank account, which they could not get without a municipality, which couldn't be registered for without an apartment. It was a massive mess. Now this has been fixed and you will get a municipality of residence automatically, allowing you to apply for a bank account and public services like a public transit ticket. Double awesome. So talking about living in Finland, if you're coming to Finland to do your bachelor's or master's degrees, specifically here in the Helsinki capital region, I really recommend that you check out the student apartments from today's sponsor, which is HOAS. So HOAS, or the Foundation for Student Housing in the Helsinki region, is the largest student housing provider in the capital region, and they build and maintain over 10,000 student apartments just like those ones in this building right here behind me. The really cool thing about HOAS is that not only are their student apartments really affordable, but they're also extremely well located when it comes to commuting to the different university campuses in the capital region. Case in point, this new student apartment building being built here in the Kalasatama district is going to be in a central location just 200 meters from the closest metro station. So this means that if you get to live in this apartment building when it's ready, it will take you only 10 to 30 minutes to commute to any of the big university campuses around the capital region. HOAS is continuously building new student apartments around the capital region, providing even more apartments for students like you. Anyways, more information about HOAS through the links in the description box below. So the second and arguably the biggest change to the residence permit law is that from now on, international students will be issued a Type A, or continuous, residence permit for their studies from day one. So this is a huge change from the previous law, under which international students would be granted a Type B, temporary residence permit for their studies. So the reason why this is such a massive update is because if you want to get a permanent residency in Finland, you will have to live here for 4 years continuously while holding a continuous or Type A residence permit. So while previously your studies would not be fully counted towards this 4 years of residency, now the time spent living in this country with a residence permit for studies will count towards the period of residence required for a permanent permit. That's awesome. So what's even more astounding, and yes, I'm actually pretty shocked how good these changes are, is that the family members of students are also eligible to receive continuous residence permits in the same way. So this was a nightmare previously, and I don't actually even want to go to the old rules. These changes are freaking awesome if your family is planning to move with you to Finland while you're studying. Still, do note that your family has to still be able to fund their stay in Finland, but again, let's not go there in this video. Anyways, the next incredible change to the law makes it much easier for students to stay in Finland after graduating, as students and researchers can now apply for a 2-year residence permit to look for work. So this permit is meant to give you enough time to find work after graduation so that you can keep staying in Finland. This is a great change because these job hunting permits could previously be issued only for 1 year, which was a lot of pressure for many internationals, especially if they struggle to find work at first. In addition to the expansion to 2 years, another major change is that you can actually apply for this job hunting residence permit up to 5 years after graduation and even from outside of Finland. Again, applying for this permit was previously only possible while the student residence permit was valid, and this permit could only be submitted physically from Finland. So this new change is a massive thing because it allows people to return temporarily to another country if they want before applying for a job in Finland. This again is great because it gives you guys more flexibility and it alleviates some of the pressure and stress of finding work here right after graduation. Before the next point, super quickly just I wanted to mention, so again, School of Chemical Engineering, we have the main building, university main building basically right here, continues way back there, and what is really cool as well is that what we have over there is the university main library. So if you're studying at the School of Chemical Engineering here at Aalto, everything that is relevant to you and to your school is going to be, you know, just a few hundred meters away from each other. Anyways, the next change to the law is all about working part-time while studying in Finland with a student residence permit. So previously you could only study for 25 hours per week on average while lectures were given, so basically during your semesters. You could also work without limits during summer and Christmas holidays. So this was great because you could work a lot during the summer holidays, but these previous rules made everything actually quite complicated for both the employees and employers to keep track of. So these rules have now been changed and specifically simplified, and nowadays you can actually work for 30 hours per week on average around the year. So the unlimited hours were removed from the holiday season, but the overall hours were increased, and keeping notes about your work hours is now just much easier. So this is actually another great change made by the Finnish Immigration Service, which will make working part-time as an international student so much easier for all of you guys. Talking of which, because you're most likely interested in working part-time during your studies in Finland, you need to also check out this video where I explain all the best websites for job hunting in Finland. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.